Hey, what's up? Dr. Earl here. And before I head out to work, I want to make this quick video addressing Lee Kerslake. Now, for those who don't know who he is, some of the people here today, he was the drummer and founding member of the group Uriah Heep back in the 60s and early 70s. He was a member of that full group until they briefly disbanded around 79, 78. And then a couple years later, he hooked up with Ozzy Osbourne, who at the time was just let go from Black Sabbath. They get together to get a bass player named Bob Daisley and a new guitarist from the LA area named Randy Rhoads. They put together Blizzard of Oz. They record that one album, the first album, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, Ozzy's new manager, who would later become his wife, Sharon Aldrin, that's her real name, decides, let's make it an Ozzy solo album. Now, the thing is this. That album, Blizzard of Oz, was recorded in 1980. It didn't come out till the following year. It's in the States. Now, a couple months later, on the Ozzy's second solo record comes out, Diary of a Madman. And of course, Bob Daisley and Lee Kerslake are on those albums, but they don't know. But the people don't know that, because in the inner sleeve of the album, they see the new Ozzy Osbourne band. Ozzy, Randy, Rudy Sarzo on bass, and Tommy Aldridge on drums. Now, here the problem is, as you've been reading for a long while, Daisley and Kerslake have not really been paid a lot. Their royalties for playing on those two albums. And those two didn't really get much credit, nonetheless, for Diary of a Madman, let alone acknowledgement. Now, Bob Daisley, who played with Ozzy's studio albums many times before, but never really played live with him because, according to Ozzy, they get along good in the studio, but they don't get along while on tour. Daisley wrote a majority of the lyrics on those two albums. Ozzy just sang the words and did most of the arranging, from what I understand. If I'm wrong, feel free to correct me. But the idea is this, you got to give credit where credit is due. They did help they put a lot of major input on those two records, which to this day still get played on numerous radio stations to this day. Now here's the thing. Here's a really upsetting thing I just found out. Kerslake has prostate cancer, and he has been given 8 months to live by his doctors. All he asks is 2 platinum albums for those albums that he played on, Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman. Now, if I was Sharon or Ozzy, not only would I present him with those, just him, I wouldn't just present Kerslake with those 2 platinum albums, but also Daisley as well. As I mentioned, he pulled a lot of weight behind those albums. He put a lot of effort in it as well. So both guys should be credited massively. Now, if Sharon or Ozzy doesn't do this, I'm sorry, the heavy metal world will lose a lot of respect for them. You got to give credit where credit is due. I mean, come on. It's no secret that Dave Mustaine had a little input on the Kill 'Em All album for Metallica. Remember, some of those songs on that album was co-written by him prior to his firing. So he should be given some amount of credit. Now, it's sad, when situations like these come up, but it's sad. Ozzy, Sharon, do justice to those guys. Give them both platinum albums to both those guys, and also give them the monthly royalties they deserve. Okay? They both deserve it. They absolutely do. Okay? That's all. I'm going to head out to work. Everybody have a good one. I'm Dr. Earl. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel. We're going off the rails, off the crazy train.